Well, this is my senior share. Yep, I am a senior and I'm about to leave college. It's sad, but it's also exciting because I know there are new beginnings that are hidden in this ending. So it all started when I was a freshman. I was walking on campus and I walked past an university booth, and there's a guy named Charlie who stopped me and invited me to join InterVarsity. So I ended up joining. I joined his life group in nylons, and that was a pretty stacked life group. We had Delaney, Aubrey, Aiden, me, and a few others, but it was a good group for sure. And this was the first time that I was really involved in a consistent Bible study and Christian community. And there was a lot of spiritual growth that happened my freshman year, and I became more open-minded. I got discipled by two different men my freshman year, one that was in InterVarsity, Charlie, my life group leader, and then another guy I knew on campus. And they were really able to guide me and answer a lot of questions that I had, and really helped me grow to the man I am today. And then the summer after my freshman year, I was like, I'm ready to become like a life group leader. So I prayed a lot for a young man to disciple, because I wanted to disciple somebody and just grow with another young man. So now we're in sophomore year, and these are where things really started to pick up. I became a life group leader for the first time, and I was an RA now in Wells East, and it was very overwhelming. It was a lot to juggle for the first time. But anyways, we go to fall conference, and it was awesome. But we were leaving fall conference, and I was one of the drivers. And so we were driving back, and then we got a call from one of the other cars that was leaving. It was a girl's car, and I won't name who, but they were driving and they hit like a raccoon or something, and they wanted us to stop at Walmart to pick up some like duct tape and like zip ties, something to just help out. I don't know. I guess there's a little damage to the car. But so we go and pick up the stuff. We are driving over to save the day, and when I see out of my rearview mirror red and blue lights, I'm like, oh boy, that's not good. So I pull over, and the cop comes up to my door. He's like shining a flashlight right at me. It was late at night, and I was like trying to explain to him what we were doing. But the guy in my passenger seat, he was like trying to explain the situation, and he was like confusing the cop. It was such a mess. But all the cop was doing was telling me that I had a headlight out. So it kind of ended up being okay for what it was. We ended up going over, saving the day, and it was a good time. But that was just for my sophomore year. That was one memory that we made for sure. My life group sophomore year kind of struggled. It had people that like weren't really involved in InterVarsity, like going to epics and such. So it was kind of hard. It struggled a little bit. And then I also attempted to disciple someone. It didn't work out the best because they weren't fully committed. So it was kind of hard to like get them involved and get them wanting to seek the Lord when they weren't wanting to. But another note for sophomore year, I also started dating my girlfriend that I still have today. So that was a blessing. She was the MC for InterVarsity too a couple of years ago. So fast forward to junior year, and I had a life group that was all in on InterVarsity. It was awesome to have people that really wanted to get involved in the chapter and just seeking God's will for their lives. It had Nellie and Brianna. But again, over the summer, coming into my junior year, I had prayed for a young man to disciple. And, there's Adam Nelly. And I got to know him really well over the first couple weeks of the school year. I invited him to discipleship, and he accepted. And it was... What I quickly learned with him was that it wasn't so much me discipling him as it was like us both discipling each other. And it really got to experience iron sharpening iron. It was a testament to brothers in Christ coming together with the common mission of seeking God's will for our lives. But it was also a testament to God's faithfulness to me in answering my prayer of providing somebody to disciple. yeah, and again, I was an RA my junior year, and I had a ton of residents that were guys. It was awesome. I bonded with them a ton. I invited them to life group all the time, and a few of them showed up actually sometimes. And we also had impromptu Bible studies in my room a few times. I was like passing out Bibles. Yeah, I won't forget those moments. It was really cool to see the Lord work in those situations. Another story from my junior year was we had a guys' lock-in at the chapel. And when we got to the chapel, there was a bat living there. And guys will remember this one. But as soon as we saw it, we were all freaking out. And but then like some time went by, and then we decided we wanted to catch it or try and get it out at least. So then we had like a speaker that was playing like bat mating sounds, and we were like trying to lure it down. Jacob had like a trash can trying to catch it. It was a wild night. Yeah, that was junior year. So then we come into this year, my senior year, and it's sort of like my last for everything. But I got to enjoy one last RA training, one last prayer room, one last ride for intramurals. I might have to come back next semester for some unfinished business on the pickleball court. We'll see. We'll see what happens. Another thing that has been neat with my life group this year is having a few people from my RA staff join. Colton, Hannah, Isabella, they've been coming. Alex has been coming to Epic. It's so cool to see people from like my staff investing in their faith. So that has been a blessing to see. So some wisdom to leave you guys with as I go would just be to encourage you guys to really engage in consistent time with the Lord, whether that be in prayer or reading the Word. But it's so crucial to your spiritual life to be spending a meaningful amount of time in these things, and to also surround yourself with Christian community, a fellowship of believers that have common beliefs as you, to question you and to strengthen your own beliefs. Another note is to have grace with people. Grace is undeserved love. So when somebody mistreats you or you're spoken rudely to, try and practice grace in those moments where they may not deserve it and you're trying to seek retribution, but seek to have grace in those moments. My freshman year, I was asked what my life verse is, and I was confused because I had never heard of that. But then I researched. I was like, what should be my life verse? But then I ended up looking around, and then I came to the conclusion of James 4:4. It goes, "You adulterous people, do you not know that friendship with the world is enmity with God? Therefore, whoever wishes to be a friend of the world makes himself an enemy of God." And this verse really spoke to me because it urges us to prioritize spiritual allegiance with God over the earthly pursuits, the instant gratification that we are surrounded by today, where we want immediate pleasures. So try and seek God first. Seek to be friends of God, not friends of this world and the worldly things that surround us. I just got an internship for student teaching at elementary school in Janesville. I'm looking forward to that. I'm going to be doing that next semester. My major is special education, so in the near future, I'll likely be a full-on special ed teacher. I don't plan to leave the southern Wisconsin region, so you might see me around. Who knows? But if I were to put my college experience into an analogy, it would be this. It was like my frosted tips that I came into this school year with. It was absolutely incredible, but gone too soon. Thank you.